Just as a warning for this podcast, there is some bad language involved, so if you're watching with your child or whatever else, maybe turn back now. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Apes and Engines. This is a special one. We have two very, very special people joining me here today. What Would Grant Do and Motodragon, who I'm sure you probably both know by now if you watch the channel at all. And we're going to be doing a kind of a bit of an interview style podcast today. So if you want to hear us talking about upcoming bikes and also the two lads' channels and whatnot, stay tuned. So, do you want to do an intro, gentlemen?
Yeah, right. Do you want to see my intro? This is my surprise, right?
Go for it.
I'm the GorillaBiker.
Where's that one even from?
Facebook.
You should have made a mask out of that.
So welcome to Apes and Engines podcast with me, the GorillaBiker. Today I'm joined by...
What a stunning individual. That's all I'll say. Grant, do you want to do any form of intro or will I kick off?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, I want to do... No, don't kick off. I want to do an intro.
Okay, go for it.
No, kick off.
Okay, so...
How do you do mine?
Unfortunately, you actually do have to do an intro because it's literally the first thing I was going to ask you. So, who are you? Obviously, from a motovlogging perspective, and what bikes do you have and why? Motodragon, you can go first if you so desire.
Yeah. Okay, what was the question? Yeah, so I'm Motodragon, which hopefully some of you will know. I think the video that me and you done together is actually doing quite well on both of our channels. I enjoyed that.
Good, yeah, it was good
It
fun.
was also the first time we met as well, and
Yeah, in real life.
you're a
In real
beast,
life.
needless to say.
Mm.
So yeah, currently I have a parts of Yamaha MT10 currently getting fixed in the garage. Actually, I have it here, so yeah, slowly getting fixed, thankfully.
Getting there.
Yeah.
We'll get into what happened later.
Yeah. Still gutted about it, but sure, look, yeah, that's basically me. I just do motovlog stuff. Hopefully a few views came over from my channel, from GorillaBiker's channel, and welcome to the Cringe Fest.
Nothing but cringe from James.
That's all that happens.
Yeah.
And Grant, what about you?
What would Grant do on YouTube? Like, comment, subscribe down below. The link will be in GorillaBiker's description somewhere.
I like that. Bro.
Get that plug.
It will be in my description. Yeah, 100%.
It's not better than the Motodragon 10 on.
I was just about to do that. Motodragon 10 off your order. Wait, Motodragon 10% off your order.
All the plugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I own two bikes. One is a ZX6R from 2007, which was another YouTuber's bike. James Motodragon's there. He left it in shit state. I had to bring it back to excellent condition. And I also drive a Fireblade. Two sports bikes that are very similar, but just fucking stupid.
I can't believe you said a Fireblade and a Ninja is similar. How fucking dare
They're
you?
sports bike and they are similar. Fuck
How
you.
dare you.
All the power is made in the high end of the fucking rev range. They're similar.
Absolute no.
He's kind of right, James. Not gonna lie.
No,
They're similar.
They're very similar. They have two wheels, an engine. One's a 600, one's a Fireblade is its own pedigree. ZX6R is its own pedigree.
Yeah, but they're both sports bikes.
You're a sport bike. Stop your mouth.
No, he's just a bike.
Yeah. If anything, I'm like one of those overweight Harleys. You know, it's like blah 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 blah.
Potato.
Yeah. So, do you want to give a bit of an insight into why you motovlog as well before we keep moving?
James.
Okay.
Dragon.
What started it? What started it off?
So, when I started motovlogging was like, it was about 5-6 years ago.
Is that long?
Yeah, it was a lot, and I had another channel that was like a gaming channel, which I just got rid of because I had to sell everything for college and then get a bike and all that shit. I started about 5 or 6 years ago, and I started because there wasn't many, if any, Irish vloggers out there, and I just wanted to show people Ireland and especially because I was commuting about, I think it was about 120 kilometers a day, so a lot of stuff would happen. Because like what stemmed from that was my rider observations, which is like one of my biggest series, which I just haven't done because I don't get clips anymore because I'm a pussy and I don't ride.
And the fact the bike is broken.
Yeah,
it's for later. It's for later. Don't.
it's for later. No, the bike is working fine.
It turns on.
It turns on, yeah, and it still sounds nice though.
Yeah, it does still sound nice.
But yeah, no, that's why I got in, just to show people Ireland. And hopefully I wanted to get people to start riding, which I have people coming up to me, like anytime I meet subs or anything like that, just go, I got into riding because of you. And I'm like, oh, my little heart.
Just a little tangent to that there. I had seen Motodragon there years ago, before I even started riding. I'm only riding about 4 years now at this stage, but I probably would have been about 24, 25 at the time. But I would have watched his rider observations.
Actually, wasn't it?
I would have watched it through that. Through YouTube, but then somehow we ended up in the same group chat, and I was like, hold on, wait, I know that bike.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's how we met.
Yeah, we just ended up in the same fucking group chat, and fucking became mates through that. Before, as I was starting out riding, didn't know who it was. Like,
much, come on, acquaintances.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. You
Only
told
kissed
me
at
you
one
were
time.
fuck buddies.
That was the one time.
Well, I'll have to bleep that one.
Oh yeah, beat the fuck word.
Quack. Just add a quack in.
Here, look, I've already given up. The amount of times you've said it is no point in me even trying. it's every second word out of Grant's mouth.
I'm sorry, I'm from Northside Dublin. I have a poor education. Leave me alone.
You do not.
Garda, but it's all that you had a rough upbringing.
Yeah. The other question then, so it's on to you, Grant. Why do you motovlog? What started it?
Motodragon.
Yeah, Motodragon and all the other motovloggers you see out there. Just Motodragon. No, before I even got my bike license, I'd watched all the American YouTubers or vloggers who do it. Jake, Dan, Downshift 83, blah blah blah, Shade Tree. Watched them all and got me license. Like, you know what, I could do this and it looks entertaining. Change jobs, have a lot of time off through shift work rather than waste a day sitting at home. Go out on a ride and record and edit. And it's something I've had an interest in last while, doing videography and that, and photography and recording. Being a bit more creative than like a robot instructional following steps, just going out and thinking about things a little bit differently in a creative sort of mindset. Because I work, whereas my job is a very structured and processed role. So the creative nature changes it all out.
I get that.
I think that's one of the bigger things about it. It's just kind of nice to be able to vent and talk like there's people there.
Well, people are there. The way I see it is because, like, people respond to you. So to my mind, they kind of are there in a way.
When you're actually vlogging on the bike, it kind of feels like because obviously we're addressing people, whatever poor souls stumble across my channel, I talk to them. So I suppose it's kind of nice to be able to get my opinions across to people and have people agree or disagree, because you have a lot of people that hide, like Facebook and all that other amazing platforms that there is.
Oh yeah, so many.
They close things, they kick people from groups, they don't like to be challenged very much.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, but that exists on YouTube as well, though. There's plenty of people on YouTube who can't take any sort of negativity and criticism towards them. Like, you call them out on, say, they go out and spend 15 grand on a fucking bike, and then they spend another 15 grand on bike parts. And
I know he's talking about.
You don't. There's a few of them. There's a gaggle of them.
Pretty certainly know one of them you're talking about anyway.
I think we both know exactly.
But you call them out on it, and then they'll block you.
I don't like that.
Some people, you could be a complete arswipe to them and go, lads, you can't ride for shit. Fuck off YouTube. That's you could do that, and that's completely against it. Really against constructive criticism. You can have an argument, an open discussion with someone going, saving those that way while you're not riding a bike or something, when you can't ride it, you're not getting the benefits of that 15 grand carbon fiber or carbon fiber wheels or whatever you spent on the bike. You're not getting any benefit because you can't do it. You can't push it to the limits. But then when you're even sort of critical like that, and in a nice way, blocked. And they just kill all sort of discussion.
That's just how it is. Like, even I've only ever received constructive criticism twice, and I've acted on it both times. I actually like it. Like, for me, even obviously today's video has been doing quite well for me, and one person said, just one gripe, they said, I don't like the music overlaid in the background. I probably won't put it in again, because honestly I was humming and hawing over it myself for ages last night.
Was that in the last video, was it?
The one that I released today. Yeah. So, like, I was kind of thinking about, because I've received feedback in the past from someone saying I wouldn't mind a bit of music in the background just to keep it kind of, you know, different. But then straight away someone was in, I was like, no, I don't like it. So fair enough. Like, I would usually only overlay music on like a quiet spot when I've sped it up or something like that. You know yourselves.
Like, I think it's a good thing about the motovlog stuff is, like, I'll follow people based on their bikes.
Yeah,
100%. Their personalities to it as well. So you get people that kind of go, I like your bike, I'm going to sub, or I like your bike, you can't ride for shit, I don't like you. You know, you have it from everywhere. But like, I suppose like that's like as what Grant said, like, you know, you're spending your 15 grand on your carbo and all. There's something else kind of something like, if you had that money, you know, you'd want to do that as well. And I think that's what other people think is go, well, you just can't afford it, so that's why you're not going to do it.
Yeah. Now even with say putting music over it, I think it's about finding your own feet. If you like it, then leave it in. If someone else doesn't, because we live in an age where you can't please everyone.
Anyway, you're never going to please everyone. But even at that, for instance, right, what I would do is that would drive me to pick possibly better music, and obviously because I don't earn a penny off YouTube yet, that would obviously go. It means I have to look at free music. Free music tends to be a hell of a lot worse than anything you pay.
You don't need to say tends to it.
It's shite. It's shite. But like, even, and then the other time I got constructive criticism.
I think Casey Neistat would argue with you there about free music being shite.
He can argue all he likes,
doesn't he?
No.
Doesn't he have like people that he knows that are musicians, and they'll make music and go, you can use this? No.
When he was vlogging every day, he used to just use royalty-free music.
He stole all the good royalty.
I'll be honest. Part of the reason the free music I find is shite is because I literally spend about 5 minutes looking.
Yeah. Same with me.
I can't spend more than that.
I have a folder full of free music that I haven't used that I will use. A lot of it sounds the same. Like, that's the main issue with it. A lot of it is just the same. It's hard to find a free song that you go, oh, that fits my video. Like, I got really lucky with my Icelandic video. I think that song just worked so well with that video.
Yeah, with the pacing of the song was nice with the video.
Yeah, it was good.
But whatever, like, other videos I've done, it's like, oh, I can't find any music, so I'm just going to pick this one, and hopefully it's okay.
Yeah.
And Mick, what made you do it? Or Gorilla, what made you do it?
Oh, tables have turned.
Ooh, for motovlogging?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Do you want to get into that? Really, it was a lot to do with self-confidence, to be honest. I didn't have any, so it was always something I wanted to do.
Do it for that. I was kind of the same.
It's helped a lot. I'll be honest, but yeah, basically, it was something I'd always wanted to do anyway. I'd always been interested in bikes. I didn't always have bikes. I think I got my first road bike when I was about 24. I'm going to say 24. Which was the Phaser. That's my first road bike.
About 40 years ago, or
about 40 years ago, yeah. But
calm down there, you young whippersnapper. We'll put you back in your car.
25, so.
And even, like, I have something most people probably don't know, is I have a 1981 Mercedes S-Class that I restored, not completely on my own. I did have help, but at the time I remember I really wanted to record that, but it didn't have a GoPro because I couldn't afford one. So the GoPro Hero 7 Black was literally, I was like, that is the first ever GoPro I'm going to get, because I actually had a bit of money finally. Bought that, and was like, literally, I think I had it about a week, and I was like, right, I'm doing this, and I just made the first video and just went on from there. So Yeah, pretty much. It was pretty much driven by confidence, and it has helped. Like I've spoken to a lot more people.
I think I don't know if I think I said this to you when I first met you. It was like there's just something I like about your videos. Like I've tried to perfect my videos, audio, video quality. Like my first camera was a Chinese SJ4000, and it was absolute dirt. When I needed it, when I had my accident, my 2015, the battery went dead on my way to Dublin. Like it was that bad. But I've tried and it's like I'm just not happy. But with you have your camera, you put your mic into your phone, and like there's just something nice about your videos, like that style.
Yeah, I think with your videos, they're very well thought out. You know what you're going to talk about. Whereas, like, if you watch my one,
it comes across like that.
Yeah, it comes across that way. Whereas if you watch my one, it's me just rambling in a whole fucking video, and then I try to slice it all together to make it look fucking coherent.
But that's generally how it works for me as well. Like I mean, what I do mainly is I'll have a topic in my head, and the big thing for me is I think it's easy for me to record videos about bikes because I'm hyper passionate about bikes. That might not come across, but I am. That was a joke. Most people tell me to shut up about bikes constantly.
I know you're in the presence of two bikers here.
Yeah, so it doesn't work.
I fucking hate bikes.
Yeah, it's the shit. Hard of the oaks.
Dangerous.
But that's kind of why it's like literally. For instance, I recorded a video on the way home from work today about the BMW R18, and I could have stayed talking about that for 2-3 hours just because. You know, I was even like I got aggravated speaking about it yesterday to my housemate who has no interest in bikes because I was like, fucking, why did this happen? You know,
I need company. I need biker friends who understand me.
But that's that's also the beauty of YouTube, you know, because people do reply to you. So yeah.
But see, you have people then on YouTube like that. You're gonna make a video about that, and you're gonna have people that have the same opinion and automatically are drawn to it. Like, and I think that's what I like about it. Like on say like Facebook, you put up a thing, oh, that new BMW, I hate it. You're gonna, or I like it. You have so many people going, oh, that's shit. Oh yeah, that's great. At least on YouTube, it's kind of different.
Toxic.
Yeah, but like on YouTube, I find it slightly different. That like, I don't know, there's a bit more kind of respect.
There is, especially from and it's something that I think is good as well, is other creators on YouTube. Obviously, like a lot of our subs would be other creators, even if they're small amounts. But I think once people understand how much effort actually goes into getting a video out there, like mentally and planning and all that stuff, time. I think even if they disagree with you, you know, they give it the chance. They don't just slate it for the sake of slating it. They'll actually think out their points and they'll think out their comments. And I think that's important, and it's good in that situation.
And
especially it helps that all three of us are slightly very fast when it comes to thinking about what to say. So I think a lot of people see that, especially you, Grant. I think a lot of people kind of go, "Oh, I'm going to think for a second before I say anything."
What? What do you mean?
You know exactly what.
There's
He's saying you're sharp.
That's the word I use.
Oh, I thought you were thinking that I don't think.
Cutting.
I thought you were saying that I don't think before I say things. Okay.
No, you think. That's the issue. You do think.
I think, comment, and then go, was I right, was I wrong? I should have thought about this before I actually commented it.
And they go, it's grand, I'm right.
Fuck it, I'm right, I don't give a shit anyways. Fuck your opinion.
Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone has one.
Yeah. And how do you think that has fixed worked for you with your self-confidence and your self-esteem?
For me, honestly, I think it's made. Now, this is purely in my own head. I might appear outwardly the exact same, but definitely I think it's helped. Because even I still don't like going into crowded places, which actually is brilliant now because of this whole COVID thing. People now feel the same as me. You know, I've always been like, give me my 2 meters, and now everyone's the same.
Gorilla, one of your arms is 2 meters, for fuck's sake. Keep this away from me, bitch. Slap. Just start spinning around like a helicopter.
But no, definitely it has helped. Like, even, for instance, I don't think I would have. It is very unlikely that I would have went all the way up to Dublin and met up with the two of you if I hadn't had been making videos and talking to you online for a while first, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, definitely. I think it's helped.
Yeah, I was all for trying to steal your kidneys. James wouldn't let me.
I knew it.
Let me.
Sure, Luke is trying to get them as well.
Yeah. I tried to get. In fairness, now I tried to get Luke's, and he came up to my house because he actually stayed in my house. So
Well, Luke was lost in Dublin there last year at the Carol Nash show.
Oh, yeah.
I was contemplating taking him up a back alley and just robbing his bike at that stage.
Well, he does have a nice bike.
No, same thing with Luke. Going back to that, like you coming up here, I wouldn't have gone out and say with the aim to meet Luke, and he probably wouldn't have thought of the same thing for me. But somehow the stars aligned. He got lost in Dublin. Surprise, fucking is he Cork or Kerry? I don't fucking.
He's from Kerry, but he lives in Cork.
That okay. It's the accent that's placing me in.
Yeah.
So he's up here and he's just lost. I wouldn't say a countryman lost in Dublin. Like, he's have a hard time anyways down the country. So I see him. I was like, "Is that him? Is that him?" He pulls up beside me. I was like, "What would Grant do?" Yes. Looky Luke. I'm Luke. All right, yeah, nice one, yeah. Looky Luke.
Yeah, do that accent again there. It was
I can't do it, Kerry. I can only do the Healy Rays.
Shall we move away from this dangerous subject to upcoming bikes of 2020? So the first, I suppose, set I want to talk about, because they're, to be honest, I won't give away my opinion, and I want to get yours first, but the Harley Davidson Pan America and the Bronx. What do you think of them, and what do you think of the two engines in them?
I'll make it very simple for you. I haven't looked at either of them.
Fair, Grant.
Completely not my style in the slightest. So I just, unfortunately, don't bother. But if you were to talk to me about them, I will listen and happily.
Well, for instance, right, I put it to you this way, right? Harley, who everyone knows what a Harley is, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if you say Harley, you imagine a big ass cruiser, you know.
I picture you basically on it.
Class. I'd love a Harley. I'm not going to lie. But for instance, right, the Pan America is their attempt at dethroning the GS. So it's I believe the engine is a 1250. It is a 1250. Okay. It's a 1250 V twin. It looks really good, to be quite honest. And then the Bronx is what actually 975.
Like an MT10 style bike.
Yes, exactly. It's a Street Fighter style bike, and I think the Bronx looks fantastic. And I saw it behind glass at the Birmingham Motorcycle Show, and I actually really liked it.
I like the Bronx.
The Bronx is good, but the Pan America as well. But I suppose even from that point, what do you think? What do you think then, if you don't know the bike and all that stuff, what do you think of Harley Davidson trying to break into a different market
I was
segment?
Just going to say, from looking at them, the Pan America, from the pictures I'm looking at, looks ugly. It has that, the picture I'm looking at is, you know, it's orange and white. The front just has that Harley look.
It has that ultra glide, big fairing on the front.
Strange. But the Bronx, the minute I seen it, I thought of a Zero.
That's actually a fair point, yeah. Like a V-twin Zero.
Yeah, and especially the colour I seen, just Zero, or the Honda, you know, this like the CB1000.
Yeah, fair point. I think with the
street naked sort of sport naked.
Harley, they kind of, because they have their live wire, so they're trying to get into like the electric bike.
They've stopped production on that.
Well, yeah.
Everyone stopped production on a lot of things, to be fair, at the moment.
Yeah. But no, it's nice to see a big American company that everyone knows Harley. You think of a big bobber style. It's nice to see that they're actually getting into different.
So you like it that they're trying to get into different segments?
Yeah. Why not? Look, everyone knows the main Jap. It was like the MT range. Like that completely changed Yamaha.
Yeah. True.
Pulled them out of a really bad time as well. So
the MT-07.
I think
really brought them back.
Yamaha held on to the sport bike lifestyle a bit too long.
Yeah.
Really. They were dirt bikes and they were sports bikes, and they just held on to the very last breath of a dying market, which is, you have to be realistic, sports bikes are dying. The sales are going down.
Oh, 100%. That's, I think
some gobshites own 2 sports bikes.
Hey, they're second hand. I didn't buy them new. I'm fine. The market is still there for second hand.
It is, and it'll probably be there for a long time for second hand.
Yeah, now new it's plummeting, and it's because the likes of the MT-07, the MT-10, just they're so much more cheaper.
And the price, that's the thing. The price of new sports bikes is insane. Yeah.
Like if you think,
15
even say
to
the take the MT10, right? So I paid $9.5 for that 2018, 4,000 miles on it. Detuned R1 engine, basically quick shifter.
A more usable R1 engine.
Yeah, it's so nice now. I still have to wait to get the go of the R1M Ronin. But price wise, I think a brand new MT10 is like 15 grand. A brand new R1, I think, is around the 20 grand mark.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's with no options.
And then add the M package onto the end of it.
I think it's 27 then.
Yeah.
Expensive.
And you get nicer stuff, but at least at the MT10 you can go, I'm gonna go out for a spin and use it. An R1M you're gonna go, oh, let's go for a spin, okay, but I don't really want to go
I don't want to push this.
Yeah.
It's 25 grand. Nope.
That's the thing, for me, even, and I'll be honest, I've said I don't know how many videos recently, the only bike I'm really lusting after at the moment is an SV1000, and that would match, if I was to buy that with all the final costs and everything else in, VRT and all that, it'd probably just about match the most expensive vehicle I ever bought, which was my Phaser. Like, that's $3.5 grand is the most I've ever spent on a vehicle, and like, worst case scenario, I go out and crash the Phaser. That bike owes me. That bike owes me nothing. Are you still gentle over that?
I'm so fucking.
His ass is still hurt.
His ass probably is still hurt. But so what you say then is, so for you, the Pan America, the Bronx, you like the look of the Bronx, and you're happy they're trying to get into another market segment. Because for me, I think even if they're shooting themselves in the foot by trying to get into another market segment, I think at the end of the day, it's a good thing for the motorcycling ecosystem. For me, the whole thing about Harley in decline, I think a lot of the time it's overblown. Are they in decline? Yes, but is the motorcycling market in general in decline? Yeah.
No, the market has just changed.
Exactly, and they're finally trying to change with it.
Like the original Harley, say World War II era or 60s era, all the GIs riding it over in the wars, coming back in and coming back to a bike that they know that they can fabricate and work on, that was fine. Now Harley are branching out into adventure bikes in 2020, 21, whenever, when all this shit has passed. Is it too late for them? Because there's companies there who have already established in that field. The likes of BMW, KTM, Yamaha, Honda, they've already established there.
But I think
themselves.
the likes of Harley, they'll always have a place in America.
They will.
But for Pan America, for adventure bike, will they have a place?
I think if we think of Ireland, maybe not. In America,
I think so in America, yeah.
Because BMW in America are stupid expensive, like how stupid expensive Harley are for us, because it's from America.
Yeah.
So, I think they could in America. I think they'll do very well.
I think it's a case of they need to convince people to try it, right? And I think, in fairness to Harley, they actually do kind of embrace, like, for instance, they're like a Blockhead, and Shade Tree. Harley dealers all over America, they're constantly like, yeah, come in and ride the bikes, to people like that. So, I mean, if the likes of Blockhead
they always have that, they've always had that sort of lifestyle, Harley lifestyle.
Yeah, like come in
and try it, have a coffee with us, we'll take it out and that. Exactly.
So I think their biggest job is to try rob BMW's customers, and I think that's how they're going to do that. Is they're gonna have to do it that way. Is give it to the likes of Blockhead, give it to the likes of Shade Tree, give it to the likes of whoever, maybe not Jason Twiels, he doesn't really ride them, but the likes of Blockhead anyway. Blockhead is absolutely massive in the Harley Davidson community.
Blockhead.
Yeah, he's a legend.
He's so chill.
Yeah.
But the likes, they'd have to undercut BMW significantly to get the bikes out there.
I think they'll easily do that in America.
Harley Davidsons aren't known for being cheap.
No, they're not. But in America, like as to what James said, but in America, BMWs aren't known for being cheap. The next bike, we'll get on to the next bike, right?
Oh no, hold on. So, you triggered it. I remember the new Harley Street 750. I think it is. Have you seen that?
No.
Is it a Street 750 or a Sport 750 or something?
Hold on.
It looks like the Bronx a bit.
Oh, sorry, I do know what you're talking about, Jet.
Brand new, that's only €8,995.
Only, James, my 2 bikes downstairs are only for £8,000.
That's okay, but like for a new bike, especially a Harley,
it's not bad.
That's not bad.
It's a good price, like.
Yeah. And in fairness to Harley, and I know they get a lot of shit, but Harleys actually are reliable.
Is it the same one we're looking at?
I like the way you said that and then smirked.
They are actually reliable.
They just happen to leak oil a lot.
Honestly, the biggest problem I find with a lot of Harleys and why they're not looked after is same with my bike. A lot of people would say, "Oh, my bike's shit," but like, you know, they might ride it once a month. Of course, it's going to be affected.
If you look after it, it's
exactly like those V twins. There's guys over in America with 100,000 miles on the Evo engines, 100,000 plus miles on the Evo engines. They, if that is not a reliable bike, I don't know what is. Like whether they leak a little bit of oil or not. My car pisses oil out the turbo the whole time. It still runs. That's a reliable car.
Aren't you some sort of mechanic?
Yeah, but that's the thing. You never fix your own car, do you?
I suppose you work on enough of them.
Yeah.
But no, I like the idea of the way Harley are going. They have branched out. The days of like
back to the question.
Back to the question. Bringing it all back around. The likes of say, the market has changed. The Orange County chopper style choppers. They've sort of died out, that fashion. Now it seems to be more of the touring bikes are in fashion. Hopefully sports bikes come around.
To be honest, that Bronx is class. I'd honestly, if that Bronx sounds as good as, and I love V twins. I love big, loud, obnoxious V twins, and I like Harleys anyway. So maybe this is exactly. If that Bronx sounds as good as I think it's gonna sound, I'd have one. I think that's gonna be that's like the FTR 1200. I adore those FTR 1200s, and if I could get one, conceivably, I love them. Yes. But the other bike I wanted to talk about, because this is one more down your alley, is the 2021 Honda CBR 1000 RR Fireblade.
Yeah, finally.
Go on, talk.
They are back. Finally. Like, if you think of Honda, what they really brought out, the big one was the Grom. Everyone wanted the Grom. Since the Grom, then they had their Africa Twin, which is, you know, it's not new. The Grom was something new, and then they reinvented their monkey bike. Finally, they kind of made people excited again. Honda. And it looks fucking beautiful. Like, I'm not a big fan of the wings, but the way they have them done just looks so nice.
It blends in with it very well. They're not obnoxious like the Ducati V4 or V4R. They're not as obnoxious as that, like little fucking. You've all seen How to Tame Your Dragon. They look like little toothless wings on the side of it or something like that. They're not as obnoxious as that. They nearly just look like vents, but
like
not
I
vents.
love Honda. Honda were like my first bike was a Hyosung ball of shite, and then I had a Honda Hornet 250, which had a crank bearing gone since I bought it. You could hear the crank actually hit the engine case.
Oh God!
No, seriously, and that, like, if you watch my old videos, you can hear it, it's loud.
Bad.
It's so loud. I drove that bike for 30,000 kilometers like that. I sold it like that.
You probably should admit that.
It was only getting part of that out like last year. It was still going.
Jesus.
And then I had the Hornet 600, and that was just one of my favorite bikes. So like I have a big thing with Honda. So and I'm glad that they actually were like, okay, we're gonna treat people now.
I think it's gorgeous, but I think it's Grant I spoke to about this before. The only issue I have with that bike, and it's something that the lads at 44 Teeth mentioned as well, is it's so small. They've literally just eliminated a large chunk of the market, literally large chunk of the market, because I wouldn't fit in it.
That is nearly every Honda sports bike. Even my Fireblade feels like it doesn't feel much bigger than me 600 size wise. Sitting on it, it feels like a 600 feels.
Yeah.
The Suzukis are the roomiest I've ever sat on, sports bike wise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I thought, because I had the R6 before the Ninja, and that was a 5SL, it was an 03 model, and I loved that. It was so comfortable. And then I bought the ZX6 without test drive, and I was like, I am having that now, because I bought it from a garage, like a dealer. I was like, I'm going to trust you. And that bike is tiny, Grant. I think you can vouch for it. It's so small. Like if you sit
Yeah,
on
they are
another
small
sports
bikes.
bike, it's tiny.
They are tiny, but it feels more roomy than the blade. The blade, I'm a bit more hunched up. Now I'm not a giant. I'm 5'8".
That's because the blade is like you have your CBR 600, which is like I want to go fast on the road and the odd track day. Fire blade is have fun on your track day. You wouldn't really want to be using on the road.
Yeah.
You can see
It's
why
more
they do it that way.
derived for sport than
It
what the
is, yeah,
ZX6R is.
it
But
is,
then the ZX6R is a very sporty bike as well.
Yeah,
I do think that
still miss
they
that bike.
sell it to you 4.5.
Oh,
It has carbon.
More expensive
It
than
has carbon.
I think it's more expensive than I saw.
Don't you know accessories make it more expensive?
No, it's the opposite.
All those tires and has a full tank of
The last bike I wanted to talk about. So we all agree that the CBR 1000 is class.
Actually,
Yeah.
no. Go back.
Oh god.
Just
Go on.
still touching in this. The
Don't be touching any.
CBR 600 hasn't changed over the years from 2006
Yeah.
or 2005 maybe, whatever the first iteration of it.
It's been the same a long time.
It hasn't changed. It looks identical. So it's great to see Honda come out with something new and fresh.
Yeah, and it might mean now that if the RRR is their flagship, they might move back to the 600 next. Kind of like you see with Yamaha.
Yeah.
The RRR is going to be their flagship, like their SP1 used to be, and then they have a lower model which doesn't have the fairness null on the side of it.
Yep.
It's still gonna be good. It'll still look the same but without wings, and you'll probably find some tour party can make wings for you somewhere along the lines.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Red Bull
Absolutely.
hashtag not sponsored. Gives you wings.
Ah,
The last bike, which is we've done a kind of a, Harley, bit different and the RRR, but then the last one I really want to talk about, which I also sat on at Motorcycle Live, which actually kind of fit me and gave me a horn, the Kawasaki ZH2, so the kind of naked, mental bike that they've brought out. What's your thoughts and opinions on that? Because we know that the H2 is a lunatic asylum, literally a lunatic asylum on wheels, and then they brought out the H2SX, the sports touring version of the lunatic asylum. It's like putting a bow on a lunatic asylum and saying no, it's a play center for children. It's still full of mental cases. And then they've brought out this ZH2. Now I'm not sure how well a hyper naked will work with that much power and a supercharger, because it'll probably just rip you from your arms, but I still think it's really cool. So what do you think?
Yeah. Grant, I'm gonna let you go first this time because you're the Kawasaki owner.
Packer.
I heard that the engines are slightly different. They're not the same.
Yeah, I think
They're slightly different, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it would have to be. 'Cause I think it's more narrow and it's less weight as well. So
Ergonomically as well, it's slightly different. It has a shorter wheelbase.
It is, and it's much more Street Fightery.
Yeah. But the wheelbase is a bit shorter than the original, so it's probably, if you just took a H2 engine, slide it in, the thing will wheelie for days. I've heard guys wheeling in fourth gear, like with the ZH2, no problem to them. Whereas they wouldn't do that on H2R.
well,
or
the
H2.
MT10 will do that. So you know,
The MT10 doesn't have a supercharger though, and go choo.
doesn't need
Yeah.
one. It could just be me going. Choo!
Yeah, but like this is like the MT10 on steroids. That thing would blow the 10 out of the water.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I think I wasn't as excited for whatever reason. When I seen it, it's like
It's pretty ugly.
it's fucking rotten.
It's really ugly. That's the one letdown.
I like
whole
the
Z
frame.
range
The frame of
all
it looks
looks
class.
the same. That's the issue. The Z800, the Z900, the Z1000's on its own.
Don't know about
thankfully.
that.
But I just think they all have that same.
They are, yeah.
They're very, very similar.
You could argue that with the MT line though. MT07, MT09.
But they're all good looking though.
Similar but different.
If you get an ugly person and that ugly person has ugly children, then you're gonna slate them all.
Ugly person.
But like with for instance, I think the H2 is gorgeous, and I also like the H2SX, and I also like the ZX10R, beautiful, ZX6R, beautiful, and then they literally got the ugly child, like you said, the Z900, whatever else, and they just multiplied it, and like, no matter if you put a class engine into it, don't get me wrong, if I got the opportunity to buy a ZH2, I'd be the happiest man alive. I'd probably be dead an hour later, but I'd be the happiest man alive. But it's just, My God, they could have done something with that front end, couldn't they?
Yeah.
There is nothing special about it apart from the supercharger,
Apart from
and
the engine.
I think with the market the way it's gone now, you need that. Like you have the new Ducati V4, like that. Come on, like that's just
that gives you shivers.
Like. And then even like the like we'll say the MT10, the S1000, or they haven't changed, you know. So
Yet.
I've seen I think they're changing some things about the MT10 I've seen.
And the S1000R will change because that's how they do it. They do the S1000RR first. They've rolled that back to the XR.
Same with Ducati and their engines. The V4R, now there's the V2.
I just can't wait for the V4 Multistrada.
Oh, that's gonna be class.
It's going to be amazing.
I'd love to see that in a hyper motard.
Oh, stop! That'd be class.
Imagine the hooligans.
Oh.
No, officer, I'm just on a tour.
Yeah. Hable no English.
Super Duke 1290 GT. It's like, this is a touring bike. Of course it is.
I am a responsible adult in my.
But then even like back to Kawasaki, the SX. Yeah, it's a sports tour. No, it's just it's a H2R with fairing
with bags.
panniers.
Yeah, it's literally like Yeah, and slightly more mid-range rather than top-end power.
As you go past the police radar coming off the throttle, shifting up to gear. Choo!
Yeah,
what was that? That's a H2R. No, it's a sports tour. It can't be going that fast, guard. I'm not doing
touring.
It just sounds fast.
So this one is the next piece, right? So what I would like to ask you about is dream bikes for you, right? Now this is where it gets a bit complicated. You can have one bike with no price limit, or you can have 3 bikes for under 10 grand, and you have to tell me what they are.
The fucking effort of 3 bikes.
Stop! I can never have enough bikes.
No. I think at the moment I have my dream bike. So, like the MT10 for me is something I loved since the start. But even in my videos, I've always said I wanted to get an MT09 because I ruled out the MT10, and then when it came up. And insurance were like, yeah, we'll insure you. I was like, okay. There's no bike apart from the MT10 that has really like excited me. You know, so like, I'd love if I had kind of no limit, I'd love an R1M.
Yeah. Well, you do have no limit. If you want one bike and it's the R1M, that's your.
Yeah, if I had no limit, it'd be an R1M, definitely.
Fair.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't go for 3 bikes at all for under 10k?
I don't know, but like, because the way bikes are gone, and especially in the market for Ireland, because you have to keep everything kind of local, is that if you get 3 bikes under 10 grand, you're not going to get an awful lot. You'll get like an old, you get like a 2013 S1000RR if you wanted, with higher mileage. You might get an older Fireblade. I'd probably just get the one bike because effort of.
Fair, yeah, fair. Trust me, more than one bike it's always like picking the favourite child, which I imagine for parents isn't easy, but for me it's even worse with bikes, because I remember there was one day last year, it was a really nice day, and we hadn't had a nice day in quite a while, and I came home from work, shot off for a spin on the Phaser. I mean, I was gone like 2.5 hours, came back and immediately jumped on the Magna and went off for about an hour and a half on the Magna, because I was like, I have to take them both out today, you know. It's only fair.
I can't show love to one and love not to the other one. Like.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like that'd be the beauty of it, but then that's why I love the MT10, because it does everything.
That MT10 is absolutely magnificent. And just even, do you know what? I'd literally ride the MT10 up and down the street to listen to it. That'd be enough.
I thought that was going somewhere else.
I'd ride it. Literally ride it.
No, I'd ride. I was expecting something else.
Yeah.
I would literally ride.
I would mate with the MT10 and make Gorilla MT10 babies.
I was thinking James, but however.
That's not how reproduction works, though. Sorry, James.
It's literally like, your man from Game of Thrones and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's the picture.
Grant, what about you?
Dream bikes. There's no point saying any new bikes as dream bikes, because you see lads going out, right, buying, say, S1000s, the latest Ducati, H2R. Oh, I bought me dream bike. I don't think it can be classed as your dream bike if it's only been out the last year going, yeah, that's my dream bike, that's my dream bike. If you're in your 30s, you're well off. You can't really a dream should be unattainable, really. Something that's unrealistic. But so buying a H2R for me now at the moment is unrealistic. In fucking 20 years time it could be, but again I can't say I might even want it in 20 years time. So I don't think any bike in the last the last 2-3 years could be a dream bike for me. I'd have to go something old school, with like an old Ducati 916 or NSR 250 or something like that. Even an old KLX 650.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be class.
Something stupid and old. They could be dream bikes. RS50, Aprilia RS50. What?
Huh? It's you. Stupid and old.
Stupid and old. Oh, that's offensive. Calm down there. Get back in your car.
So if I put you on the spot and say 3 bikes that you think would be attainable for under 10k, what would they be?
3 bikes RS50, Aprilia.
Yep.
NSR 250 or under 10 grand. Unattainable. I actually can't think of anything unattainable. Another one under 10 grand.
ZX10.
No, attainable, not unattainable. Attainable.
Oh, attainable under 10 grand.
Yeah.
No,
like whatever you want, 3 bikes. No, not dream bike. Just 3.
ZX10.
Yeah,
ZX10. Fuck that. I'd buy that. You can get 2012, 2013.
I'd buy 3 of them in different colours.
Yeah.
If money wasn't an option,
yes,
I would love to have the Brighton.
Oh, yeah.
The blue and pink thing. It looks fucking gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The sound out of it is fantastic. Or the Norton lightweight.
Yeah,
the Nortons.
The old Norton, like
the old Commando.
80s, rotary engine, like just...
Yeah.
I would like to say as well, like, I really hope someone who's not a shyster dickhead buys Norton and makes everything right and just keeps that company going.
Chinese company bought like a lot of it.
Yeah, but I really hope whoever buys it just goes back, sorts everything out for the customers that got absolutely messed over, and continues on from there. Because I think by coming back and winning back those customers, saying, look, we're doing right by you, you're getting your bikes, you're getting all that, I think that would do a huge amount to rebuilding that brand. And I think it would be a crying shame for Norton to go out this way.
Yeah, like that bollocks that bought, like, owned it.
What a scumbag.
Like,
leaving your bike in and taking parts off other people's bikes so you can sell.
Yeah, like, that's just not on.
And like, everyone knows Norton, regardless, like, even going back to, like, the old, like, road racing days, everyone knows Norton. So it's like, why would you fuck up a brand like that for the money?
It just doesn't make sense.
Didn't he bought them when they were in, like, a really bad financial time, and then he was like, I'll make it all better, and on paper made it look better, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm running off your money.
Kind of the opposite to what happened with Triumph, someone bought it and said, we'll actually fix this, and did.
Triumph have re-imaged themselves in the last 5 years or something like that.
And they're putting out some serious bikes.
The quality of their bikes.
I love their new...
It's improved massively.
I love their new Moto 2 bike.
Oh, the 765.
The 765. Now, this is going to piss some people off.
Go on.
Union Jack on the side of it.
Oh, yeah.
It just ruins the colour of it.
That's understandable, being in Ireland. It's like the new Mini Coopers. They have Union Jack flags in the taillights. It's like, why?
I'm not anti-British or anti-Royal Family, but I don't get why you would put a flag on the side of it like that.
With the history Ireland has with the UK.
But even with that, the history a lot of countries have with the UK. I mean, they kind of messed over a lot of countries. And again,
parts of Africa, like there's the flag has a lot of contention.
Yeah, exactly. And like at that, you're kind of...
And again, it might not be their market. They might be looking into buying into this, and the same idea as Harley did with, like, oh, we're American, buy America.
Yeah, but I don't think Britain's big enough for that. And even at that, like, and again, I'm not anti-British in any way, shape, or form. I have a lot of friends over there, but for instance, I bought a radiator guard over at Motorcycle Live, and I specifically asked the lady, like, look, this is going to sound odd, but I see on your sample radiator guards you have a Union Jack on it. Is it possible to get it without the Union Jack? And she was like, you from Ireland? I was like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, no problem. I was like, it's not even it's the fact it's anti-British. It's the fact I could park that somewhere that's the wrong place. Someone will see a British flag on it and decide to kick my bike over.
That's what I was going to say. It's not the fact that we're anti-British.
It's everyone else might be anti-British.
It only takes one fucker to walk by and go, oh, he's from Britain, or that has a British flag. I'm going to ruin it.
And some drunk asshole, and they're like, I'm kicking that bike over, and you come back, your bike's kicked over, and you're like, I'm from Kilkenny.
Yeah.
I just don't like the colour scheme on the side of it.
For those who are watching that aren't from like the UK or from Ireland, I just Google UK
history
and Ireland, and you'll just see straight away why there's still going to be people that are pissed off.
But even to add to that, like if there was any bike that had a country's flag stamped on it, I don't want it. Why put a flag on a bike? Like, even if it's an American, Japanese, whatever, I don't want your flag on my bike.
With Top Gear when they went down to the Falklands. With the reg. 69 FLK.
Bad idea.
Get the fuck out of this country. Ding, 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 ding.
I'd say they were actually in danger there, like, for a while.
Oh, yeah.
They were chased. I seen the kind of post interview with all the like cameramen and all. They were like, I think someone actually got hit with a rock through a window. Like it was serious. Yeah, I think one cameraman or something actually got hit with a rock, came straight through the side window. So like that could be happening here.
Yeah.
If you're driving to the wrong part with a flag on your bike, and you just have one person who goes, I don't like that country.
You park it up, getting a nice coffee after a nice scenic ride or something like that, and come out and there's someone who's kicked your bike over. I can give you a funny story. I went to a show up in Belfast. It was a mixed martial arts show. It was in Queen's Hall. It was grand, no problem.
That's the handbag wrestling?
Yeah, handbag wrestling. I can't remember what the name of the show was. What was it? But anyways, we're there. At the end of the night, security came up to us. Do any of you lads have a Dublin Reg car out there? We're like, yeah, we do. Yeah, you might want to hang on there. The UDF and UVF are fighting. And now they found common cause with Dublin Reg cards. So they're hanging around waiting for the Dubliners to come out and go and jump us. They were fighting with themselves. The UVF and UDF were fighting in the club, or in the venue. They got fucked out. Or whoever got fucked out. And then the fight stopped and we're like, I'm not your enemy. He's our enemy. So they hung around Dublin Reg cars. Show ended at 12. We were let out of the venue at 3 o'clock in the morning.
But I think even back to that, and obviously, look, there are regional problems with having a Union Jack on a bike, or even maybe an American flag on a bike, but at the same time, like, why would you have it as a standard option on a bike that you want to sell globally?
Well,
doesn't make sense.
They're not selling it globally. They've only made 765 available.
It is global, it's just very limited global.
Yeah. 765 for Europe, 765 for the Americas. So it's very.
But even at that, like, you can see Bonnies and stuff over in America with the Union Jack in it as well. It's like I don't know why you'd put that as a standard option on a bike. And again, not hating on them at all. I just don't get it.
I wouldn't mind if it's part of the logo on the brakes or something like that. It's like, I can't do that. But painting the whole thing, the whole paintwork, that's what the bike is about.
And the issue is the paint is so nice.
The paint is fantastic.
Gorgeous.
I think we're all agreeing Triumph for producing fantastic bikes.
The carbon on it is just.
I was going to buy one of the street triples.
They're fantastic.
I was going to buy a street triple before I bought the ZX6, and then I was going to buy a speed triple.
Yeah, speed triples are.
But in Ireland, they just don't hold their value. That's the only issue with them.
Yeah.
There's like, if you had a Daytona, like the old 675, you don't see them for sale because no one wants to get rid of them.
Everyone keeps them, or crashes them. So to get on to something else, right? Obviously, once your bike's fully fixed, you're going to be doing stuff as well. But I just wanted to ask about your plans for the future of your channels. Are you going to plan to do any trips, any new bikes, any upgrades to the bikes, etc., etc., etc.? Tell the people.
Yeah. No trips apart from
Cork.
going over to Cork, to see yous. Mondello again. I have Mondello in May. Hopefully, if they reopen, because they're closed for April.
For COVID.
The Larger Lurgy. Like mods, the whole bike it's getting modded. I have a box of carbon bits behind me.
Nice.
I have all new stuff coming. I think I spent like 500 quid on parts because what happened is the more I pull off, the more that's broke.
Yeah. That's always the way. You start digging, you find more.
Yeah. But see, and then the issue is because it's so new, it's so expensive. Like I had to get the mount that holds my headlight to the frame. It's called a headlight stay. That was like €350. It's only a bit of metal.
Stay,
yeah.
Stay headlight. Stay.
Jesus.
And then even like an engine case, a little right-hand engine case, which is literally that size, was €135.
Could have made you that out cardboard.
Yeah.
Probably won't last very long with oil, but however.
No. So yeah, no, the MT10's getting nicely modded and fixed. It's going to be a lot nicer. Good few carbon bits on it that's going to go on it. Other than that, no, I want to do a bit more reviews, more bike reviews.
I do like them myself.
Yeah.
Bike review.
Yeah, and I just want to meet up with a few people. Like I've met up with a few subs, and I love it because I'm such a small channel in the grand scheme of things. And even one person going, "Oh, I watch you," I'm like, "Oh, that's just great. Thank you."
I was going to say I'm such a fame slut.
No, it's very.
It's nice. It is nice.
Yeah, like I'm so small, and it's like all I do is YouTube, and I have one person I might go, "Oh, I watch you," and I could be out somewhere, and it's like, holy shit! Like I remember when I first started YouTube, I only had a few hundred subs, and I was going into work, and a guy came up to me, and he was like, "This is gonna sound stupid if you're not, but are you Motodragon?" I was like, "Oh my god! Like this is
I'm famous.
Give me your boobs, I'll sign them."
We made it.
Yeah, made it.
Man, get the camera recorder. I made it. I'm famous.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I'd like to meet up with a few more subs.
Name one of your subs.
Grant and the GorillaBiker.
Oh, you're not subscribed. Awkward. Ooh.
Yeah, no, like there's a few lads like around me, like I give him a little shout, like the Apocalyptic Biker, and the guy called Cottle. Like they're up around me. So I met up with one of them, and I want to meet up with more of them. But obviously with everything that's going on with my bike and then with the country, can't really do that at the moment. But no, that's what I'd like to do. I just want to meet up with more
future
people.
plans. Yeah, good. Sounds good. El Grante. What about you?
I don't really plan. I tend just to fucking do things on a whim.
But you are planning to come down to Cork as well, correct?
Yes, I am planning to come down to Cork maybe when this shit is all just over and done with. If I go down, yeah, hopefully we'll just fucking race down as always. We go all the back roads, race through everything.
Do you have any plans for either of your two bikes, Grant? Or are you going to sell them? Sell either of them?
I'm not selling either of them. I'm half tempted to sell the 1000 more than I would be the ZX6, but I'm not selling either of them in the foreseeable future. I was thinking new fairings, but I'm not arsed. Quick shifter though is 100% on the books for both of them.
Yep, quick shifter.
Just for both bikes, just getting a quick shifter.
100%.
Quick shifters are nice, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mind you,
when you drive with a quick, or when you ride with a quick shifter, you're not going to want to go back from one.
I've been clutchless shifting a lot though.
Yeah.
But it's not the same.
It's still just not as nice as pinning a throttle and then just up, and
yeah.
It's not.
Even though I did have a bad experience with mine.
Second gear, what?
I remember when I started learning the clutchless shift, I was getting so confident with it, and I messed it up once and pulled an unintended massive wheelie, and I was like, oh, cool. Because I was really like, I kicked it and I was like, oh, like, you know, you get that moment of realization, you're like,
yeah,
fuck. And I just went, bang! Holy went up, I was like, awesome, class. Yeah, I was literally like, down!
This is what it feels like to shit yourself as an adult.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And it wasn't imagination, like, poo did come out.
Comparing the two, like, on clutchless... Do gorillas do big, massive tours, or do they do, like, rabbit little balls?
I'll take a picture of the next one and send it to you.
Oh, please do.
Jesus Christ.
My head just goes off on fucking tangents. Imagine this is what happens when I'm out riding and I'm trying to get a conversation going.
What are you talking? That's exactly how my videos go.
It's just a ramble and a tangent of fucking nonsense.
I don't think any of us can say in any video we've ever done we've talked about gorilla shit, so...
No, I've not talked about it, but this is going on in the back of my head constantly whenever anything is said. Just
really, you always think about gorilla shits.
And back to my old point of Grant commenting and not thinking.
Yeah.
Imagine him behind a keyboard.
Just nonsense. But right, what are we talking about?
Plans
for your
quick
bikes.
shifter. Oh no, just on fucking the quick shifter, right? The gearbox on the Fireblade is notorious for going into neutral from first to second there. But with that said, it is silky fucking
How many
effortless
comments are you going to get saying,
changes.
oh, that's just rider error?
Yeah. No, it's because I've been riding around in runners a lot and I'm not used to clicking all the way up with me boot.
All the gear all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think any three of us are all the gear all the time, are we?
No, most of the time I wear gear.
No,
I'm all the gear most of the time. Yeah.
If I'm commuting 100%, like if I didn't have my gear when I came off, I'd probably still be in hospital.
You wouldn't have a bum.
Oh God, no.
If I'm just nipping to the shops or something like that, it's I'll wear tracksuit bottoms in the runners. The shop's 800 meters from the house.
I'd never wear a tracksuit. I'd always wear at least jeans. So like,
jeans are actually worse.
For me, I'm kind of like, well, I have Kevlars, so that's what I mean by jeans.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so there's something there.
It depends. You see, if I'm on the Magna, I will be a lot more lenient with what I wear.
You're going to be more lenient when you're riding that anyway.
But exactly, you can't really thrash it anyway. It's actually a quick enough bike. I'll give you a spin on it someday. But
I'll test the crashability. Don't worry.
Please don't crash that bike.
Dragging rear brake into bends and everything.
You can try dragging all you want. It's a rear drum. But to finish off, I'm going to just do a few shout outs and then if you want to do as well. But the first one is D-Cycle, and this sticker is one I got from D-Cycle for donating to SMAES. And SMAES, I have it up here so I don't get it wrong, is the South Macoupin Association for Special Education. If you want to donate, get on to D-Cycle on YouTube. He makes great stuff. Has a very nice Harley, and it's a really, really nice sticker. He'll send you out a sticker as well as part of donation. So if you want to do that, get onto it. I'm getting to you. You're getting a shout out. Don't worry. And then another person who I just got stickers from, who I need to send them to, is Slow Ride. It's the A. Another YouTuber. So check.
Cal, that's American. 50 Cal.
Yeah. check him out as well on YouTube. I'll try remember to leave links in the description for everyone.
50 Cal.
No, it's SoCal. Yeah, down the bottom. Oh yeah, SoCal. So yeah, Southern California at the bottom. The next person who has stickers, and you can get onto him if you like, is. Do you recognize these?
I actually don't have any stickers, so don't contact me.
What would Grant do? But you can contact him, and he keep bullying him, and they get stickers.
And he'll say no.
And he has a few different options. There's a bigger one. I really like these stickers.
If the smaller sticker, if you rub it, it gets bigger.
I really like those stickers. Grant, I really do.
Paul done a savage job on them.
Yeah.
And then Motodragon has a Etsy store where you can get his stickers, and here's one of the ones he gave me. I don't know.
I don't think that one's actually for sale on it, but
special.
What I'm doing is I have a bunch of stickers that I got done up, like that one there. Like they're not for sale, but when people are ordering, I just kind of throw them in.
Cool.
Because they're an absolute ball ache to print. Have you gotten my new ones?
I don't know. I must order some.
I think I have one or two. One is above my bed as I go to sleep.
I gave you some of my new ones.
They could possibly be downstairs. I just grabbed what I saw. D-Cycle, I'm terribly sorry. And Slow Ride. So that's all the kind of shout outs. And then just an extra shout out to Gram Trooper, who was a Gram Trooper and Captain Granite. They both pushed me in their localities to get me to that 1,000 subscribers, which I really do appreciate. It was a very pleasant thing that happened in a not so good time globally. So that was cool, and thank you again to those two.
Thank you for 1,000 subs as well.
Thank you very much. But yes, I will leave links in the description to the two guys who helped, and also Bri the Biker, who has the official title Hype Man, which was given away in the last podcast. So there you go. Hype Man. He hypes me up, I believe.
Okay. So what? He's your pimp?
Pretty much, yeah.
Sugar
pretty much. Except, like everything, I don't get paid for that either.
God damn it.
So, would you like to do any shout-outs before we close this off?
James?
Yeah, no, I think I already said the subs that I've met up in my area, but Cottle Laverty, chatting to him a good bit, and he's a sound fella. I think he goes by Lanky Moto. He's a pretty sound guy. Stefan, you know who you are if you're watching this. And again, Apocalyptic Irish Riders. He changed his name again. Yeah, no, they're
Oh, I talked to him on Instagram as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jake.
Yeah, Jake Jixer. Yeah, he's saying.
Oh, you slut!
Right, did I take yours?
Yeah.
And what would Grant do?
Ah,
Give him a shout.
that's so kind, slut. I don't really have anyone to shout out.
Actually, wait, sorry, one more. Two more. I want to give a shout out to Doug. Doug, you know who you are. And Chris from Mondello.
Chris.
Give him a shout. He watches my videos.
That's the fucker who blew past me on his 390 the last time I was there. Bastard.
No, he probably was on it to 390.
He was on a 390 and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm grand here, I'm going fast. No, I'm not, there's a 390.
Those 390s are actually quick around the track though.
Yeah, there's
I'm not going to give anyone a shout out, but I'm going to mention people I've been watching quite a lot. Shay Tree Surgeon has been keeping me entertained through this fucking
100% Shade Tree.
Just watching his XSR build again from start is fantastic, and it's hilarious.
And also that mad near miss.
That was insane. Yeah, that was insane.
Man,
I only seen that today from the two different angles. The fella, I can't remember his name, who he was riding with. And I was just like, I didn't realize how close it was until you just see the car go by. Like,
man, that was crazy.
When you see it from...
It's more so how Cammy is. He's like, oh, well. Yeah.
Oh, shit. He just...
That was
fuck this bike.
Insane. But it was funny. Did you watch Flipna's video?
No, not yet.
Man, he was off that Triumph so quick. Like, his leg was fully... Man, that was light. That was lightning.
And he put the kickstand down.
Just went,
to be fair, it's a hell of a lot easier to scramble off that Triumph and throw the kickstand down than on the Harley Road King. Like that's a big bike.
Yeah. Mind you, it has built-in side stands as well with those saddlebags. If you've been watching the 44T thing, your man Fagan has no side stand on his Gixxer, so he's just leaning it against poles and walls and fuel pumps and everything.
Actually, I'm going to watch episode 2 now. That's
it's brilliant. Watch it. It's fucking brilliant.
They have to be just the two most entertaining fuckers.
Shade Tree's been keeping me entertained for years. Again, I've got so much I'm going back to watching it. I'm watching Teapot Ones riding around the world. It's so much better than Ewan McGregor's thing.
I'm watching that again as well. I'm actually watching it at the moment.
Right?
Yep.
It's fucking brilliant.
Fantastic. I have to actually say, speaking of Teapot, I watched him ages ago, and when the whole kind of controversy with him started, and I just never really gave him a chance, really, to watch. And then as kind of everything progressed, I went back, and I have to say, since he went full time, his videos are just...
the production value is just up there. He's up there with the likes of Chase, I'd say.
Yeah.
He has one with the Meston Flyer, Andy Mancam and Richie Vida. Bike versus plane.
Yeah, that was so good.
It's brilliant. And what you do, right? What you do, you watch one of them and go watch the other one and go watch the other one. Just get all the points of view. It's fucking brilliant. You can see a different contrast between them with the way they ride. You have Lamb Chops on his H2R or H2 pinning it everywhere and going around bends and wheeling and everything. Then you have Teapot One going up. It's a 60 zone here, better slow down.
But that was during the whole kind of investigation. So and you could see kind of just made it like, well, fuck it, look,
I'm doing it, but
I'm going to make it fun.
Yeah, but you had to. It was like, this is a 60 zone here. I'm slowing down, nice and handy.
He made sure he told me, it's like, it's 60 and I'm doing 60.
And then Andy Mancam like, oh shit, I can't give it beans. I'm running out of electricity. Shit.
Yeah.
TMF then.
Two up in the plane, just saying, this is nice.
TMF turning around like James May. Oh, we have to do all the fuel checks and everything.
Yeah.
The boys are racing. We have to go. Oh no. Oh, that's at the right angle. We have to fix that.
In fairness, he did find the problem.
He did find the problem.
Actually.
He did.
He was very lucky.
And it was fixed very quickly as well.
Yeah.
The best part about that was Lamb Chops consistently got faster. He's like, this is like plus or minus 10%, then plus or minus 20%, then plus or minus 50%, right? Yeah. It's like, Jesus Christ. So look, lads, thanks very much for coming on. I appreciate it. That was over an hour and a half. In fairness, your evening's given away, so thank you very much. And if you ever want to do another one, I'm more than available to shoot another type of podcast, either on my channel, your channel, whichever one you want to do. I don't care if it's an Apes and Engines or not.
We have to do one when we come up, and like
Oh, no, we'll do a proper Apes and Engines at the table. Yeah. We'll get D-Ron in and maybe Big J if we can. But look, thanks for coming on. And for everyone else, thank you very much for watching if you watched this far. If you've liked this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you also enjoyed the lads, don't forget to go subscribe to What Would Grant Do and also Motodragon. And I see what you're doing there.
I just think it's so stupid.
Thanks, James. That's me you're talking about.
I know.
I think it's just so stupid. It's me. That's me.
I'm gonna put it on my pillow. I'm gonna make a big pillow about it.
That'd actually be like a compliment, to be honest.
I'm gonna get that in a t-shirt and me and Grant when we're going down to
why don't you buy a GorillaBiker t-shirt?
Can we get it as a face mask? Like a neck warmer, neck scarf?
That's what I was gonna actually wear this as a mask and cut out the eyes, but I just thought holding the print up would be slightly funnier.
Make sure you all use spinning stickers 10, Motodragon 10.
Motodragon 10 for 10% off spinning stickers. They also have graphics kits, which are fucking sexy, I have to say. They're so nice. The graphics kits, they're amazing. So
it's just like cast the rod out there and watch them bite.
Yeah. It's funny because it's the first company to proper work with me. I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to milk it because it's funny.
I don't like, in fairness and fair play. And on that note, thank you very much for watching. Adios.
See you in church.
Oh, God.